Welcome, everybody. This is the event Embodiment Coaching in Action. It's really good to see so many of you here. As I was just saying, please do have your cameras on. It's really good when teaching that the teachers, the tutors can see you. And please also, we like to know where you are. Add it to your name rather than in the chat. Put it after your name. You can edit your name and do that. Other things to tell you. Well, we've got this event going on over several days, and let me just share my screen and show you that we have today, it's coming up. Today is the introduction to working with the body. Tomorrow we have 2 sessions, both live coaching demonstrations to get or to watch coaching with Mark. And on Thursday, the 30th, there are 2 further demonstrations with Christina and Flower. And then on Friday, not part of the free event, but directly related, is the Advanced Coaching Masterclass, which you can sign up to and buy. And if you do that, you get the replays as well. So let me just stop that share. And I'll hand straight over to you, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Let's give Helen some love. She's always just on the couch helping us out, usually with a little dog. So just give her a little stroke. Put your head down, Helen. We'll give you a little ruffle on the head there, if you don't mind. There we go. All right. Thank you, Helen. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you. Why don't we start with a few deep breaths just to kind of land? And you know what? Just whatever else is going on in your day, just slap it to the side, lovingly slap it, just spank it lovingly out of the way for our hour together. Some of you are gently pushing, some of you are going, get out of my life, or whatever. And let's take 3 deep breaths together to begin, just to synchronize all around the world. So 1, 2, 3, breathing in and out. All together now. 1, 2, 3, breathing in and out. 1, 2, 3, in and out. In with the good stuff, out with the bullshit. Okay, hello, people. Some of you I know quite well. I recognize, like Greta, we've got some, and Jody, we've got some hardcore fans here. Is anyone new? Give us a wave if you're new. I do things by wave, so it's really helpful if you've got the cameras on. Oh, there are some new people. I should totally warn you. So I'm going to swear. If you have children, get a headset. I'm going to make jokes. I'm not politically correct. I will probably speak very fast in non-standard English. If I speak too quick for your slow, non-ADHD brains, you do this slow down gesture. Jody does it in a lovely way. Jody, show them how to do the straight slow in a really nice way. That means Mark, less caffeine. I'm in Germany today. I'm teaching in Cologne today. I want to know what you're here for. What are you here for? So in 1 sentence or less in the chat, what do you want? What do you want? So while you're doing that, I'll share a little bit just about myself, where I come from, what I do. It seems like quite a few people are new to the party. So my main activity is teaching coaches to work with the body. That is the main thing I do. I've done it for many years. We did it in person for years. We've done it online for a few years. And just to be totally upfront, we do free sessions on this because we think some of you may get interested and go, I want to train as an embodiment coach with Mark and the team. So I'm not just doing this out of the goodness of my heart, and I want to be totally frank about that. I'm hoping some of you will get interested in a course called KEC. Maybe Helen can put it in the chat. This is our certificate of embodiment coaching. And we find the best way to do that, however, is just to give away a load of free stuff. Is just to go, look, this is our models. This is what we do that's good. This is, let's experience this together. You might like it. So that way, hopefully it's a win-win, because some of you will go, brilliant, I want to come train with you guys online next year, or maybe in person in the UK. And some of you will go, you know what, thanks for the free stuff. I'm skint and it was nice to meet you. And that's okay too. So that way, I don't have to do like a big sales pitch, and you don't feel like, no one likes being fucking sold to, do they? So I say that at the beginning, I'll say that at the end, and in the middle, I'm just going to give you a load of useful stuff. Okay, great. Marianne, that's a lovely smile, and your name is spelled just like my sister's. It's nice to meet you. Okay, there we go. She's a Marianne, spelled like you. Learn new tools, great. See how you connect with body and mind. When are you hosting workshops in Western Canada? Never, because they'll just fucking get upset with me and euthanize me or something like that. There's no way I'm coming to West. Portland, California, Western California, never going to happen. Never going to happen. Maybe eventually. Great. You know what? You could also add to your name. Could you add your main thing? Kelly's in California and she loves me, so it's not all bad, is it? In California, it's some nice people. Yeah. Do you do coaching? Do you do yoga? Do you do martial arts? You probably do lots of things, but what's your sort of main thing? You want to add that after your name, that way it won't just disappear in the chat. Great. There's sort of two main people that come and train with us. There's people who just love embodiment and they want to take it to other people. So maybe they're already doing yoga, maybe they're doing conscious dance. They just love embodiment. And at a certain point they go, you know what, wouldn't it be nice to help people with this? Yeah, like I've got a lot from yoga. Maybe I could help other people. Or it's, you know, maybe I teach yoga, but how do I work one-to-one? The other group of people are pretty experienced somatic coaches. And I'd say we're one of the top 3 providers in the world for coaches who just want to work more with the body. Like we could say we're pretty experienced at that. And, you know, really simple tools can work with that. I remember my embodiment coach, Curtis, who was my coach for a long time. He's dead now, sadly. Like he used to just get on the call and he'd say, Mark, 3 deep breaths, 3 deep breaths. Like it was like that simple sometimes. There's a coaching tool for those of you who are coaches straight away. Most of my coachees come to calls just stressed out and all over the place. Yeah, does that sound like your clients? Like people often come into the yoga class and oh fucking hell, oh sorry I'm late, oh the things happened, and you know one of my employees was crying today because her child is going through a tough patch and that's pretty normal. Someone else is dealing with health problems, somebody else has an itchy chlamydia rash. You know, there's all sorts of things that people have going on. Like a lot of people are just stressed, aren't they? So if people are stressed out, you can be the cleverest, coolest coach in the world, but until you can just do a little bit of self-regulation with them, they're not going to get very far as a coachee. They're just not going to come up with very good questions or very good answers. Yeah. Okay, who we got? Psychotherapist. Tell me about your mother, Gita. Good. Ah, yes. Anka's one of my students. She did a great workshop with her in Austria. Good. All right. So I'm going to start right at the beginning. If you're a sort of master coach, you might want to just come to the coaching thing that we do, that we charge a little bit of money for, but still super cheap if you're already sort of dead into coaching. This is sort of, I want everyone in to be the same place. It's going to be pretty much review for those of you who are my regular students. Okay. Why is there a baby there? I don't know. I saw my friend's twins yesterday. They were very cute. Kittens, if at any point this gets stressful, ask me for the kittens and we will come back to the kitten. Okay. Cat, anyone got a cat with them today? You get extra points if you've got a cat with you. Hold your cat up to the camera. This is how, anyone got a cat? Anyone got a cat? We got any cats being held up? I need to see them. I need to see the cats, Lisa. Can you just tell me about the cat? All right, we'll get the cats out later on. It's not a euphemism. All right, where are we at? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, me. Some of you don't know about me. I'm not very interesting in many ways, but my own background is a lot of psychology, a lot of martial arts, worked in war zones, work in Ukraine sometimes, worked there, did this thing called the Embodiment Conference 3 years ago that was absolutely huge, and then it sort of blew up the business. We've ended up doing a lot of online work since then. Written books on this topic, worked with all sorts of companies for those of you that do organizational work, and a little bit of a speciality of the house is cross-cultural working. So working all over the world with embodiment, and I do good embodied impersonations of most nationalities, most of which are pretty offensive. So if you hang around, you will get those at some point. Actually, let's start with you. Let's start with your own attitude. Like, what is embodiment? I'm coming to. Look at how you're sitting right now. Just look at how you're sitting. Some of you are leaning back in your chairs going, what is this embodiment stuff? Who does this guy think he is, huh? I want my money back. What is this? And I go, okay, good luck with learning from there. Good luck. Some of you are more sort of curious. You're sort of like, oh, what's going on here? You look like a child that's just walked into a toy shop. Like, cool, what's happening? Yeah. Some of you are more like evaluating a little bit, like, is this any good? I'm just gonna give it a little taste. Some of you are more playful. Yeah, you've got that this kind of embodiment, like, yeah, let's see what's gonna go on, you know? Like, yeah, I've totally got my favorites already. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about your shape. Some of you are muscly, some of you are tall, some of you could do with losing a few pounds, couldn't you? Just like me. It doesn't really matter. I'm what? You call me fat? You're fat shaming me? No, I'm fat loving you. It's different. This is the way we work. Yeah, some of you, this is new, isn't it? So I'm not that interested in your physical appearance. Okay, I'm terribly sorry. I'm a married man. It's just not going to happen. Not that interested in whether you're tall or fat or muscly. You know, that's a whole nother thing. I'm interested in how you are as a body. So our definition of embodiment, how we are as bodies. Okay. I mean, we say this every day, don't we? We say, how are you? How are you, Helen? I'm fine. I'm fine, Mark. How are you? And it doesn't really mean anything. But if we really said, how, what is the manner? How do you construct you? What is the manner of your being? And that, of course, has layers, right? So it's not as simple as I'm one way the whole time. Oh, where's my little screen showing on? Lost it. Hang on. Oh, I've lost my thingamajig. Helen, where's it gone? I've lost my slideshow. I think I shut it down. There we go. There we go. It's back. Okay. Good. And I know I'm not screen sharing. Technology is not my strength today, Helen. What's going on? There we go. We got it? All right. Embodiment. So what the hell is embodiment? How we are. That's a simple definition of embodiment. How we are. Okay. The idea that it's not just body language we're talking about. It's not like some politician with some creepy gestures. But we're more than just our brain, right? We're more than just our brain. We're not a head on a stick. Okay. There's a lot going on in our body. So if I looked at, an embodiment of someone, I don't mean if they're tall or skinny, I don't mean if they're muscly, how they are in their body, their way of being that is expressed through the body. And that comes from, there's really a whole field and nobody knows it all because it comes from, this is in my book, by the way, if you're interested in this, look at my book. It comes from martial arts. My own background was a lot of Aikido, a lot of yoga, some body therapy, some improv, conscious dance. I've done some tango, I've done some Feldenkrais, some body work, trauma work. There's all these things going on. Some Eastern, some Western. You could do yoga just on a purely physical level, right? As exercise, and that's fine if you want to do that. You can do it mindfully, i.e. I can feel myself doing it. I'm aware doing it, which you don't have to be in the gym. You can just watch TV in the gym. And then another level is, if I'm doing my warrior pose, how is it to be doing warrior pose? So from an embodied point of view, I'm like creating a warrior-like way of being. Does that make sense? The difference? So I can do warrior pose as exercise. I can do it to feel my body, which is lovely, no problem. Or I can be going, okay, this is a provocation, right? This is my system will maybe like this or maybe don't like this, depending on how familiar it is. What do I mean by that? Everyone cross your arms. Cross your arms. Cross your arms. So we already saw your embodiment because all the disobedient people went, no, I won't cross my arms. Actually, I won't be told what to do by anyone. And some of you were like, yes, daddy, tell me what to do. So that's the first thing we noticed. But then your arms are crossed. Now cross them the other way. Okay, it feels weird, right? So one of those is habitual. Okay, same with the fingers. You can do it this way with fingers. Yeah? Index finger on top. Okay. The same with embodiments. If you put people as a yoga teacher into warrior pose, some people are like, yeah, I love it. This one's great. Other people are like, I don't feel right. Can we stop? I like the child's pose, please. Okay. So there's a level of familiarity that's revealed. See, the thing with embodiment, I've lost it again. Where does it keep going? There it is. Okay. The thing with embodiment is what we're really looking at is a number of layers the whole time. So this is one of the things I teach coaches. Peter's leaning in. He's like, there's a model. It's clever. I shall lean in and have a look at it while rubbing my beard. Everyone stroke your beard. Me and Peter can do that. Not everyone can. So we've got a biological level. We've got, shared cultural level. There's also a context. Like right now I'm teaching, right? It's part of my embodiment. It's just that I'm teaching right now. There's a biological context. Like maybe you had lunch, maybe you didn't, maybe you had breakfast, maybe you didn't. I'm in Germany. I'm in a city. I notice I'm in a big city and I'm far more upbeat here than when I'm at home, chilled in my house by the river in England. Yeah, it's very different. I had a colleague from Moscow I worked with for years. I don't work in Russia anymore, sadly, but I worked with her for years, and she came to visit me in Brighton, where I lived, and she said, "You are much nicer in Brighton." And I went, "Yes, because Moscow stresses me the fuck out. It's a big city full of people who don't smile. Yeah? At home in Brighton is much more chill." So it's, of course, the context is fine. Some people would say, "Well, it depends. You know, I'm different in different places with different people." Yeah, you are. You're partly contextual and relational, but you do have an embodiment. Okay, you do have a habitual way of being. And if you're going, "No, I don't," well, probably combativeness is your habitual way of being. Okay, so as a coach, we need to bear this in mind, because this is always going on. Another model we introduce people to a lot as a coach is simply this model of embodied intelligence. Comes from Daniel Goleman's work. It's an adaptation of that. It's a little bit of an extension. When I worked in business quite a lot, this is a nice way to teach embodiment, because rather than teaching embodiment as this esoteric thing, we can break it down as a set of skills. Yeah. So you can be more or less aware of your body. That is a skill set. In that sense, you can be more embodied. So yes, we're all unconsciously embodied. We all have a set of habits, a disposition, a character. Yes, we all have that. Me, you, and a dog have that. Helen's dog has an embodied character. Yeah, you see that in different dog breeds, don't you? Some of them are like, "Hello, let's play," and others are like, you know, they've got a different character there. However, you can be more consciously embodied of your states and your traits, your states and your patterns. Once you're aware of those, you can change those. Okay. And as a coach, you're doing that with other people. So as a coach, I'm being aware of my clients. How are they today? You know, I was having a conversation with my colleagues today, and I just went, "Oh, she's really stressed. She's upset." Okay, I was going to tell her something was a problem, something needed improvement. I went, "You know what? I need to shut up and listen. How are you doing? How's your family?" Okay, there was an issue there. That was from looking at her body, looking at her state. And we influence people. We do this all the time. I'm influencing you now. You are being Walshed. Even Krista, who's rudely on the phone during my presentation. Unbelievable, Krista. We're going to shame her. She's in Canada when she comes back. So I may be up-regulating you or down-regulating you, right? For some of you, you know, depending on me, but also depending on you, experience, whatever, you might be like, "Oh, Mark's late night love radio DJ, very relaxing, easing you into the night. Everyone is nice and down-regulated." Yeah. Or it might be like, "Okay, kids, time for school. We got to get up." Okay. Anyone done that job? Yeah. When the kids are, you need to wake them up and they're like, "Come on, let's go." You got to up-regulate them. Yeah. So these are very normal human things. If you're going to be coaching people effectively, you need to know about these things in a greater detail. You need to know about these things more accurately. Okay. You need to really break it down and go, which skill sets have I got? Which skill sets am I missing? Is this making any sense at all? Am I talking madness? Is there something useful for you here? We just kind of like a little pause. Yeah. I've thought about this shit a lot, just many years of thinking about this stuff, teaching coaches all over the world, going to different countries and going, "Oh, maybe this is different in Germany. You know, oh, this is different in this company." And I can probably just save you a lot of time in terms of breaking down some things that I think are relatively common sense. Yeah. Caro, you've got the most relaxed look of anyone here. Just chilling out. She's Berlin style, yeah. Uber good, super cool, yeah. Geil, yeah. Just like chilling out in Berlin. It's not like these Munich people, yeah. Berlin. I'm very popular in Berlin and very unpopular at the same time. It's a super embodiment town. Lots of cool stuff in Berlin. Okay, where are we? Why are you here? Why are you here? Should we do a couple of questions? It's awesome, mate. Thank you, Alison. I appreciate the encouragement. I'm a little all over the place today. But... Yes, Jamie, good question. So Jamie asked, do people have a talent for embodiment coaching? Yes, some people are naturally more in their bodies. Some people have trauma which takes them out of their bodies. Some people are just naturally, habitually cognitive. They're more sort of intellectually clever people than deeply embodied people. But you can learn it. I learned it. You know, I used to be a very heady, intellectual little kid. And what I realized as a kid was it wasn't helping. You know, I became a drug addict. I became unsuccessful in various domains. I remember losing my first girlfriend my first real girlfriend. I was heartbroken at 16. And I was like, what can I do? There's got to be a way I can clever my way out of this. And of course there's not, because the heart loves what the heart loves. Yeah, it's very sad. Sally didn't love me. And I thought, oh God, there's nothing I can do here. And also I was just rubbish at relationships, right? Because what I learned was there was a big difference between book learning and relational learning. Okay. Like I was managing someone's day and it went pretty well, actually. We had a pretty good conversation. And I thought, you know what, I've learned that through embodied practice, not through just reading some book on how to be a good manager. You know, it's like Wikipedia hasn't solved all the world's problems. Have you noticed that? Like we have these have all this is Star Trek. This shit is Star Trek. It's like we have all this information, right? Now we have AI with even more information. And yet we're still fucking going to war with each other. We're still at each other's throats. Okay, we're still doing dumb stuff. You know, for me, there's a kind of learning, a kind of wisdom that can only come through the body, and information isn't going to cut it. So information isn't what my coachees need 9 times out of 10. Okay. So what do they need? Usually a bit of self-regulation with a bit of help from me. It's partly my job, partly theirs. They need to access their bodily intuition. You know, this idea of the body has wisdom. People generally agree with that. It's like, let's go back to being in love. We're talking about being in love today. Why not? There's not nothing better to talk about than love, is there really? So when you figure out you're in love with someone, you don't do it on an Excel spreadsheet, do you? You don't go, well, they meet the following criteria. This is my disembodied voice. Do you like my disembodied voice? Okay, this is Norman, the disembodied accountant. I've done an Excel spreadsheet and I can clearly see that you meet 5 of my criteria, Helen, for marriage. You don't meet 2, but you know, 5 out of 7 isn't bad. So therefore, would you marry me? Yeah, like that is not how we fucking do it, is it? That's not how we do it. It's like a good friendship even. Like I had a housemate move in recently, Danny, she's great. And as soon as she moved in, we just sat on the couch, we started talking. And I was like, oh, we're going to get on. This is going to work fine. I was a bit nervous about having someone in the house. I haven't done that for a while, about a spare room, so I thought I'd rent it out. And I was like, oh, we're going to get on fine. It was an embodied sense. Yeah, it's an embodied sense. Cool. Let me take a couple of questions and I'll go back to showing slides and something. Non-official coach, would this be something I can apply? Yes, particularly if you're already a yoga or a conscious movement teacher. So lots of yoga people, conscious dance teachers do KEC every year. Some of them also do like another more mainstream coaching certification, but we will teach you some of the basics of coaching, like how to ask a good question, right? Because you might not have learned that as a conscious dance teacher. Yeah. You will have a big advantage in many ways over the more intellectual coaches because you're coming in with the body skills. The most important part of being an embodied coach, in my experience, in my view, is actually being in your own body. Okay, being in your own body. So for me, it's like, this is why a big part of KEC is practice. People come and they say, Helen, I'm fine, but all my clients are fucked up. So can you teach me some embodied coaching tools? And I'm like, well, yeah, I can teach you some tools real quick, actually. You know, I can give you a PDF with 6 of them on. But unless you're in your body, it's not going to cut it. So imagine I'm teaching you guys centering, and, you know, it's a really good place to start in a coaching session with a quick centering, you know, really makes it much more efficient in what you're doing. But if I'm like this, Helen, this is the centering. I hope, right, everybody relax, please. Well, it's much more important that I'm relaxed in my own body, right? I was actually a bit stressed before I came on this call because of work stuff I was doing before. Relaxed into it now. I mean, I can be saying bananas, 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 and you relax. I can even be saying, you guys are pretty ugly today. Yep, you have big noses, and I don't like your face. And if I'm saying that with love, what you'll do is relax. Does that make sense? Has anyone got a friend like that? This is like a really British thing. You've got a friend who's like, you're a dick. And what he really means is, I love you. Yeah. And we don't listen to the words. I do one experiment, right? This is when I do live workshops. I say, right, everyone look this way. Touch your knees. Everyone touch your knees. Everyone touches their elbows. Yeah. 90 to 95% of people touch their elbows. Why is that? Because we don't really listen. Okay. So some of you are like, oh, no, you know? Yeah, unless people are really concentrating, their natural instinct is to follow the body. Okay, it's not to listen to the words. So as an embodiment coach, that's pretty important. Yeah. Yeah, no, Jamie, I agree with you. I'm just playing a game there with the accountants. I've trained law firms, accountancy firms. Everyone's bored of PowerPoint. Yeah, like people just find being presented at, talked at very boring. That's why I keep trying to throw in some little experiential exercises with you guys. We're going to do a couple more. Yeah, like experiential stuff is just more interesting. So if you're already doing experiential training, Jamie, you can add this kind of stuff in. Good. Maybe it would be better Excel spreadsheet sometimes, Christoph. I think that. Does up-down regulation work differently for polarizers? Not sure I quite understand what you mean. Could be asking 2 or 3 different questions there. Can you ask that in a different way? Maybe so I just don't answer the wrong question. Yeah, good. Okay, so if you were coming to a coaching session with me, first thing you need is a question, right? You wouldn't be saying, Mark, I want to give you some money because everything's perfect in my life. Okay, you would be generally giving me your time and money because something needs improving. Okay, if you were to be coached, and there'll be an opportunity for that tomorrow, what would your coaching question be? Either write it down if it's private, if it's like, how do I get rid of my chlamydia, then write it down. Or if you don't mind sharing it, then type it in the chat. What would your coaching question be? Let's make this real. Enough of like watching TV while the dancing British monkey tells some jokes. Let's make this real. Let's get you involved. Let's do some work. What would your coaching question be? What would it be? Like, how do I get more yoga students? Where do I find a cute Italian husband? Whatever. Don't get me started on the Italian men again, Helen. Okay, so confidence, I'm just going to use these as some examples, right? Confidence is a posture. If you were to try and be confident, like, I'd love to be confident from here. Yeah, that immediately is not going to work. Like, you could read all the books on confidence, but if you weren't actually taking up space, there's more to it than that, but that's a basic piece. Yeah. So we definitely work with the body for that. How can engage people? Yeah, okay. How to engage people in online groups. You can come to my online sessions and see how I engage people. Yeah. Okay. Marianne, yay. Marianne's my favorite just for this session. It's normally Jodie. Jodie was my favorite before, but I have to share the love around a little bit. How do I friend my imposter part? Right. So we can embody your imposter part, right? Like, we could talk about it, but we could actually everyone step into the part of them. Just like stand up and sit down. I can't do a headset on. Okay, wiggle around if you can't stand up and sit down into the part of you that just feels like you're a total fraud. I have that. Part of me is like, oh yeah, Mr. Life Coach, telling people, giving people advice. You can't even sort your own shit out. Yeah? We could totally embody that. We could totally speak from there rather than being like, no, I am confident. I have no imposter syndrome. Pushing down, repress that part of me. I could step fully into that part of me and just speak from there and hear what it has to say. Yeah. I think we might get some insight. Okay. Give me a little shake. We don't want you to be an imposter syndrome the rest of the day. By the way, little somatic tool, something as simple as getting people to stand up and have a little shake. This shit doesn't have to be like handstands. In fact, I like working with things that are non-athletic, not complex. I mean, I can coach you through acro yoga upside down. I've literally done that. I could literally do that. But for most people, that's just too much. Okay. I want stuff that 95-year-old grandmothers who, aren't athletic can do. Stuff that, office workers can do. Good. I do so much mindfulness, I'm still not relaxed. I'm mindful of my anxiety. Okay, yeah. So there's awareness and choice, right? So embodiment's about awareness, which is most of mindfulness, but then there's also doing something else. Because awareness can be like, look how stressed I am. Yeah, or look how depressed I am, or look how anxious I am, whatever. We want to also add an intervention to that. Okay, so something like centering, or we have these poses called toolkit poses that we teach people. We have 26 of them for different activities, different things. Like, we have one for boundaries, one for yes, one for authority, one for sensuality, blah, blah, blah. It actually gives you some other way of changing. Okay, so we become what we practice. So yes, you can talk about your problems all day long, but you know what? Even your therapist is bored of hearing about your mother. Sorry, this is tough love, guys. No one cares. Okay, we know you should have been hugged more as a baby. We none of us had a perfect childhood. Some of us had terrible childhoods even. I get it. My dad was alcoholic. Trust me. Okay. And you know what? It's just boring after a while. Who's bored of their own story? Anyone? And because my dad was an alcoholic, I learned to do this. And that's why it's just boring after a while, isn't it? What are we going to do about it? What are we going to practice? Let's practice something different. That's what embodiment's about. The answer to all embodiment questions from my beloved mentor, Paul Linden, very sweet man in Columbus, Ohio, okay, is practice. So that's what we do with clients. We see what they're doing habitually, i.e. what they're unconsciously practicing. We reveal patterns, right? Like if I asked you which hand is on top, you wouldn't know. But if I did this, you would know. Does it make sense? Yeah? Okay, let's reveal a pattern. Let's see how much enthusiasm and passion there is in your life. So on 3, I'd like to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm promising it's not sex with a hamster. It's not immoral. Just want you to do exactly what I'm doing and notice how easy it is. Are you all up for this? Give me a thumbs up if you can play. Take like 10 seconds. Okay. Notice already we've revealed an embodied pattern. Some of you are like, yes, I'll play. I don't know what we're doing, but I'll do it. Could be good, could be bad. I'm not judging you, but you lot have tried drugs, haven't you? I know you have. I know you have. You're like, yeah, I'll fucking try it. Yeah. And another part of you were like, I'm not sure what exactly is involved in this. You said no hamsters, Mark. You didn't say no gerbils. So I am a little bit more cautious in my embodiment. Who's like that? Who was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. I saw some of you go, I don't know about this. Some of you know me too well. Greta's been here before. She's from Sweden. She's like, I am not doing it. That's my Swedish accent. Do you like it, Greta? Yeah, hurdy-gurdy. Okay. All right, so here's the thing. I already tricked you, haven't I? There's no escape. There's no escape. You're always being embodied. That's the problem. There's no getting out of it. So here's the thing. On 3, everyone go 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, some of you look like English accountants having orgasms. You're like, yeah, great. Now, if that's, you're like, woo, yay. Yeah. And some of you were like Brazilian porn stars. Yeah. Some of you are going wild, way more extreme than me. Obviously, there's situational factors. Do you have neighbors who have already called the police on you? Are your small children next door wondering what the hell is going on? There are other factors, okay? This was a sort of embodied provocation. Some of you I can see. Did you see on camera? Some people like jumped. Some of you were like spilling drinks and jumping into it. Other people were like, woo. Okay. So as an embodied coach, we could use this almost like as a diagnostic, as a little diagnostic. Even whether you're willing to do it or not was a bit of a diagnostic, wasn't it? See what I'm doing? Is this making sense? So we're working with the body to reveal patterns. It's like if we do a no pose, some of you will be like, no, I'm a German feminist. I say no, 9. I'm in Germany. It's a strong no in Germany. They don't mess around. Okay. Some of you will like be more like, but yes, because I'm nice. Different pattern. Even that, just tilt your head. Who's got counselor neck? My mum was a counselor. Counselor neck. Everyone. I had a PA from the Philippines. They're very nice people culturally. They're very open, very agreeable. Not very good boundaries. Yeah. He's like, yeah. Yeah. Now everyone say 9 in German. Do it in German. It's better in German. 9. Put your hand up. 9. Some of you are like, no, I won't do the no pose. And how dare you insult Germany? That's exactly what. It's perfect. That's what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm talking about. So what we're doing is we're revealing different things. Now, depending on the coaching client, the coachee, we will be doing different experiments, right? It is way juicier than just going, Helen, can I have your opinion on how you are with boundaries? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's way juicier doing it through experiments. Also, I can now give you something to take home, can't I? Does it make sense? Yeah. I'm not going to use the chlamydia example again because I've used it twice and it now sounds like I actually which I don't. Okay, don't. Sorry, I don't know how this has got in my head today. Probably saw some advert or something. Okay, so I can give you homework. We can say, right, as a client, you have problems with no pose. Let's give you this pose you can do. There's a YouTube video you can share on this if you put in YouTube no pose. Mark Walsh, probably be some beautiful Ukrainian teaching you. We have a YouTube channel for those you have, and Instagram videos. We should do the thing. Mira will be happy. What's my Instagram, Helen? Can you put a link up? Then all the kids can follow me. I don't have a TikTok because I'm not a Chinese spy. Okay, but we do have an Instagram. If you do want, like, if you like little reels, we do like little 1-minute videos and some of these things. Do not objectify Brazilian women. Okay, no problem. I've lived in Brazil. Fala Portuguese. There is, however, a cultural embodiment in Brazil. This isn't to say objectify anyone. I was talking about Italian men earlier, and we've got no complaints about Italian men, did we? So I'm an equal opportunities offender. There is a different cultural embodiment between Italy and Germany. That's just the truth. If you think there isn't a different cultural embodiment between Italy and Germany, I would recommend traveling to both. Yeah, there's places that, and you will see different embodiments in those different places. This is just a fact. You know, as someone who's worked in Germany and Italy quite a lot and lived in Brazil. Where's my courage to be authentic? What a great question, you know. Yeah, so courage again is a physical thing. It's a physical thing. It's a physical thing. I'm not objectifying, anyway, it's subjectifying. That's the point. The point is how we are subjectively embodied. That's the very essence of what I teach. It's not you as an object or as a piece of meat. And if someone has made you feel that way, I'm sorry, it wasn't me, okay? And it sucks. And I've been made to feel like a piece of meat, and it's not nice. And people do it sexually, they do it at work, they do it in the military, they do it in all sorts of ways, and it's horrible. And that's the opposite of embodiment. Embodiment's about how you are, the subjective person. It's not about your physical shape. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how Italians move, not whether they have gorgeous dark eyes, which is another matter. Okay, all right, good. So you can objectify Italian men all day and no one complains, Helen. So where was I before my slight rant? I know, a lot of us carry a lot of pain around this. I carry a lot of pain around this, so I get that, I get that. Max doesn't like Italian. You left soon. Well, okay. Claudia, if you're out there, I wish you well. Good. How can I be more connected to myself? That is exactly what we're talking about. Lovely Slovenia. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Good, good, good. All right. So, where was I? Learning how to do something, exposing patterns that may be habitual. Okay. And then with coaches, we can give them things to do to inquire, because if you're in the same embodiment, you will have the same ideas you've always had. You know, this expression, like, if you try what you always try, you get what you always get. Yeah. Well, there's sort of another layer to that. If you are how you always are, you will do what you always do and you will get what you've always got. Okay. So embodied coaching goes right to the bottom layer. Instead of just saying, hey, let's do something different, which is fine, and that's fine, you could do that. We say, let's work with the being, let's work with the embodiment of who someone is. So then it will change your thinking, okay? Let's go back to your question. Does everybody have a question they can work with for their own coaching? It's far more interesting than hearing me rant. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Take a breath. That will help you come up with a question, because it can be quite stressful to be asked to come up with a question. A question to improve your life. It can be totally private. You don't have to type it in the chat. Simply by taking a breath, you'll probably come up with a better question than you had before. Yeah. Okay. Now I want you to notice what your immediate answer is. So, can someone write a question? Write one of their questions, and I'll give you some examples. What about you? Would you like to learn to be UK? I'll tell you what, if you're good, I'll teach you how to be British at the end. I'm from an Irish family and I've lived in 6 countries, but I can tell you how to be British at the end. Yeah. How can I become more confident? Okay, Paula. Notice your first answer to that. So how can I become more confident? Your first answer will be from your habitual embodiment. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try some different embodiments on and see if different answers come. Does that make sense? So from my normal Mark Walsh, I'm going to have a normal response, my habitual response. But if I change how I'm sitting, how I'm breathing, how I'm moving, I might have a different response. So you guys up for going through some different movements and seeing if we can get some different answers to the question you are not successfully answering so far? Let's go a bit earthier first. So feet on the ground, bum on the chair, palms down, breathing a little deeper and slower. How does this issue look if we slow it down? if we add a bit of structure, even formality? If you're a bit of a floaty hippie, this one will be good for you. We add a bit of tree roots to it. And then ask yourself the same question again. Okay, give yourself a little wriggle, give yourself a wiggle, a move. Now let's open up. Everyone's saying their first language. Yes, c'est da, c'est oui, c'est sim, c'est ya. Open up, soften the eyes, soften the mouth. Often for me, this is a good one. This was me earlier when I said, you know what? I'm going to shut up and listen. Yeah. So if we open up to things, soften, find our hips a little bit more watery now. And then ask yourself this same question that you asked before. And what answer comes from this slightly more open place? Maybe nothing, maybe the same thing, particularly if this was your habit, maybe something new. Okay. All right, everybody sit up. Now take a breath into the chest. So we're not doing like calm breathing. Take a couple of bit more fiery breaths, just 2 or 3. Okay, now do this movement. Leaning forward slightly, being a bit more focused. Stare at the little green light on your computer if you've got one by the camera. Okay, now ask the question from this point of view. Demand to know the answer. Be a bit more fiery. What answer comes here? Be a bit more insistent. How can I be more confident? Whatever the question is. Okay, maybe you got a different answer. Maybe you got the same answer. Give yourself a little wriggle, a little shake. Obviously, if this was like one-to-one coaching, I could kind of fine-tune this a lot better than doing a group coaching thing. Okay, now fingers in the air like you just don't care. Some of you really need this. Christoph, you're looking very serious. You definitely need this. Okay, so imagine you're at a rave. Imagine you're young again and you don't have arthritis. Okay, and you're at the rave and you've just, you know what we should all do? Just snort a line of Walsh. Just put your nose up to the camera and just get a line full of Walsh. Okay, get a line full. Just snort. Drug addicts don't do this. Okay, I don't want to set you off. Okay, now go back to the rave. Why you're partying now? Okay, what? Lasers, the lasers in the air. Oh, there's the alien spaceship. They've turned up at the rave. Fucking hell, this is the craziest rave ever. Okay, now ask your question quick. Why are you in party mode? Yeah. Okay, good. So what answers did you come up with? Who came up with at least one new idea? That was like less than 10 minutes of your life, by the way. Okay. Coaching goes on for an hour. This is in 10 minutes. We probably had more ideas than most coaches get in an hour. Everyone had at least one fresh idea, even if it was a stupid idea. Yeah, because maybe there's something in there. So why did you have a new idea? Let's think about it. You were in a habitual embodiment. You tried that. It didn't work. If your habitual embodiment had worked, you wouldn't have been asking the question, would you? You would have just been like, it's awesome already. Yeah. So what we did is we just mixed it up. I went through a 4 elements model. Someone's put here a different mindset. Yeah, a different embodiment set. Like you change the mind through changing the body. If I just say, Greta, change your mind. Well, how? What? What's she supposed to do with that? She's just going to get stressed. But if I say, Greta, put your feet on the ground, breathe this way, make this noise, make this yoga pose. There's lots of ways we could engage it, but they're all tangible. That's what's good about working with the body. It's direct, it's tangible. If I say, Helen, open your chakras to the spirit of the universe, I mean, okay, maybe she can do something, right? But if I say, take a breath here, yeah, put your feet here, take the shift, it's just concrete. You're going to get that shift way quicker. Yeah, and again, as well as getting the insight or the question, you can then go and work on that as a piece of homework. Does that make sense? We can say, go practice that, go do that every day. Yeah, you don't need me to ask me questions. Just being more relaxed will help a lot. Hence what we call centering. First tool we teach on KEK is centering, basic state regulation tool, how to regulate your state. Because if people come stressed to coaching, and they normally do, their brains don't work very well. You ever notice this when you're stressed, you don't have your best ideas? Where do you have your best ideas? Do you want to see my psychic skills? Everyone put their heads up to the camera, put your heads in, lean in, lean in, lean in. Oh, you've got some wrinkles, lean in. Let's see if I can, my psychic skills are still working. Think about where you have your best ideas. DA's in South Africa, but I bet I can do it right from there. Where do you have your best ideas? Okay, let's see if my psychic skills are working. I bet it's in the shower, on the toilet, or when you walk in the woods. Okay, give me a wave if I just successfully read your mind. Okay, not all of you, but most of you. Okay, it's not really me reading your mind, obviously. Most people have their best ideas when they're relaxed. When you're relaxed, when you're in the toilet, when you're in the bath, when you go for a walk in nature. Okay, they're the 3 common places people relax. Yeah, at night would be enough. On your mountain bike, yeah. But biking's less common because you're in a fixed movement pattern, but you're still in your body and relaxed. Yeah, walking tends to be more common than cycling, though I do occasionally see something. People said nature, people said shower. Yeah, okay. Why? Because you're relaxed and you're in your body. So if I'm in a coaching session and I want people to have a good idea, what am I going to do? I'm going to get in the shower with them, obviously, particularly if they're Brazilian. No, I shouldn't say that. Okay, no, I'm not going to get in the shower. I've never got in a shower with any of my coachees, but I do want them in a situation where they're relaxed and in their bodies, and that could be something as simple as doing this little tap. Okay, John, I know you're thinking about work and the Excel spreadsheets and the accounts. Well, let's give it. Everyone do this. Give yourself a little tap. Give yourself a little rub. Give yourself a little massage. Okay, find yourself, find your body. Remember you're here. You're incarnate. The gods said, we have a soul and we will put it in a monkey. And we will put this monkey inside a woman and then it will come out of its vagina. And then we will love it. And then this baby will grow up. You see, like all of this stuff. I'm old school. I still think birth happens that way. Some of you are actually, I was born by a cesarean. Okay, fair enough. So, yes. Bodies matter, bodies are important. If we ignore them, we ignore them at our own peril. You're still with me? We've only lost about 10 people, which with the jokes I'm making, that's not too bad, is it? That's not too bad. People are always like, oh, you're so provocative. I'm like, oh no, this is the censored version. If you want the uncensored version, you have to come to a live show that isn't recorded. Come to a live workshop in London or Cologne or somewhere else, Berlin or Amsterdam. Live workshops. Helen, put the link to the live workshop. That's the uncensored version. Okay, this is the polite version. So I've left 10 minutes for questions. Good, go me, yay. If you're not following my Instagram, then I don't know. Should we guilt trip them? My Instagram's run by a Ukrainian refugee who lives in a basement in the woods. This is true, actually. This is a totally true story. And she will be very happy if we max out my followers because I keep losing them. I put a picture of me in a bikini and lost 100 followers immediately. 100 followers just immediately. Right. She's like, Mark, I'm trying to increase your followers. Why are you posting bikini pictures? I was like, oh, it's in Brazil. It wasn't my fault. Okay. Good. All right. Questions. Working with the body, in coaching, in group facilitation, I do both. We teach you both on Keck, should you want to learn both. Our style tends to be pragmatic with jokes. They're the 2 things. So really practical. Is that fair to say, Greta? You've done like 5 courses with us. If anyone's done a course with us, you can say, what are our courses like? I think they're the 2 main things. Jodie's done some courses with us. Generally tend to be very practical. You know, it's not like super esoteric. We're not going to shove rainbows up your ass. Yeah. Tends to be quite practical. If you are easily offended, you are in the wrong place. Like you probably worked that out after 48 minutes or left. So questions. Zakla in Bulgaria, Strave. She had a few like, no, he's really said that moments. Oh, English embodiment. I'll do that, but let's do questions first. Highly recommend Kate. Thank you, Greta. I'll pay you later. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, if you like our style and, you know, if you want to learn to be an embodied coach or you want to add that to your coaching or yoga, then just do Keck. It's a good course. It's run by a German. That's why I'm in Cologne. If you don't have a German woman in charge of your life, you're missing out. Okay? Yeah? Everyone should be told what to do by a German woman. Yes, Alina with her twins I met last night. And twins. What is a Keck course? Keck is our certificate of embodiment coaching. It's our main course for teaching what we do. We've done it for years. We did it in person. Now we do it online and in person. Okay. Probably what, about 1,000 people have done it by now. It's been around for a while. A bit more structured than my mad ramblings today. It's co-taught by Christina and Flower, who are doing sessions in a couple of days. Any other questions before we head off? We've got time. Okay, do you want to learn to be English? Oh no, we've got a question. Can slap him, Bridget. Yeah. So I mean, there are clients who will continuously go to their heads, and there's lots of, you know, sometimes you have to just keep reminding them to come back to the body. Yeah, like, hey, here's one. Are you breathing now? What does your body say about that? Hey, your feet still on the ground? Like, just giving them those little cues to keep coming back to the body. The other one is you need to be really in your body. Okay. So like embodiment's like a magnet. This makes embodiment's like being sexy. If one person is sexy, it can, like, assuming you don't hate them or find them scary, it would just bring you into being sexy, right? It's the same with embodiment. It's like if you're really deeply in your body, it will naturally get them in their body. So there's the cues, there's your own embodiment, and there's kicking them in the shin if all else fails. Someone has just direct messaged me, you are hilarious and attractive. No, she didn't say that. I definitely wanted to learn so much. No question. Fair enough. Thank you for your direct message, unnamed person. Yeah. So Nikki, for you, the fiery one was probably missing in your habitual embodiment or your habitual way of looking at this issue. So you then get a very quick result when you shift. And this is just one very basic thing. Yeah. Any more questions about coaching, embodiment, anything at all, embodiment world? Obviously, those of you who can't afford our courses, I get it. If you're skin, that's life. Podcast is another good resource if you're skin. The embodiment podcast, or the embodiment app, loads of free stuff on both of those. So if you're like, if you want like a structured coaching course, you can't get that for free. But if you want just like some free content and free learning, then the app and the podcast are a good option. Look at Helen. Helen's got all the links today. She's on it. I'm not this. I'm glad you have. I am not this organized. You're all over it. Embodied practice the NHS. Yes, I've done some work with the NHS. Yeah. What's the app called? It's called the Embodiment app, because that's how creative and original we are. The Embodiment app. And it's got like a load of free sessions with from the Embodiment conference 3 years ago. So it's some big name talks and different things on there. We give quite a lot of stuff away on there. Some people say we give too much away. I said we don't give away our coach training. Oh, thank you, Jodie. You're back to being my favorite again. Not Marianne, just because her name's spelled like my sister's. No, you're my favorite again now. So that works. Yeah. Do you have a venue for February training? Do you mean the one in the UK? Yes, it's in Frome, which is near Bath in the west of England. You'd fly into Bristol Airport. It's an hour away from Bristol if you're flying in. But if you're in the UK, it's near Bath. Is that the one you mean? But I do sessions all over the world. Well, not all over the world, just mostly all over Europe, if I'm honest, because I'm not going to Australia. It's far away and full of snakes. I'm not going to California because they'll lynch me. And Europe's easy and has cheap flights. Thank you, Shirley. There's all these people giving social proof we totally didn't ask for. Shirley's another one of our regulars. Nice to see you, Shirley. I didn't see you lurking on the second screen. There you are. Nice to see you. Yeah. Please change CC back to English. I don't know what's happened there. Is it someone changed the language, right? Do you do any more one-day in-person trainings? Yes, I'm doing one in Cologne this week and one in London next week. And usually we do like 2-day trainings now, just because you can get into it a bit more. So we've got like Brussels, Berlin, Brussels, boring, Berlin, and Amsterdam. Amsterdam's always fun. We can't tell you exactly why Amsterdam's fun, but it is. Okay, so. All right, I think we're all good. Do you want to know how to be English? I was promising you that, wasn't I? Okay, you want to learn how to be English? This is my Irish side's going to really fucking enjoy this, I'll tell you. Okay, so this is how we be English. Everyone tighten your ass and tighten your mouth a little bit, okay? And then be slightly embarrassed. Be like, oh, I'm sorry, we've invaded your country. Terribly embarrassing. It's ours now. Terribly sorry. Terribly sorry. That's sorry. That's the key sort of emotion for being English, okay? So obviously it depends on where and who. Good, everyone got it? Yeah, tight ass. loosen it up a little bit. I think we can just loosen it up a little bit. Everyone just take the English stick out of your ass, smell the Englishness and just throw it away. Everyone just fucking come, get a bit more Irish and relaxed now, shall we? Seems more Canadian. Well, you know, you are just us with snow, aren't you, basically? Yeah. Okay, good. If anyone's not been insulted, I think we've done Brazil, Italy, Germany, England, Ireland, Canada. If you've not been insulted, I'm terribly sorry. I try and be an equal opportunities offender. I try and get to everyone equally. If I didn't get to you, then maybe tomorrow. Dutch. Oh, we can do the Dutch tomorrow. That's way too easy. I've got a lot of workshops in the Netherlands. Forget France and Spain. No, France is too scathing. If we, Christoph, we start. Oh, there's lots I could say here. There's lots. Do we learn embodiment of being Australian? It's much wider than being English. Like New Zealand or English is a bit more narrow, right? Australia is fucking forwards. It's like, g'day, in your face. My wife is very introverted. She didn't like Australia because it's like, yeah, high, big, and here, lots of space, in your face, forwards. See, there's a directionality. If you think of like Ethiopia or Japan, it's back and in. It's this direction. It's not Australian, American. It's much more out. Does that make sense? Like America is much more forwards. Japan, Ethiopia, much more back. Some countries are much more down, aren't they? Yeah. It's like, the Russian is there. This is really rude, by the way. This is much more like, yeah. Whereas Italy is much more up and high, and yeah, it's much more up. Does that make sense? Anyway, I can't teach you everything. This is all just fun. Someone's now doing a post on the internet. Mark Walsh is a somatic racist who makes stereotypes about countries. It's just culture, guys, and it's just one piece. So don't get hung up. Don't get hung up on the cultural piece. Good. To pay for the insult. Exactly, Kara. Exactly. We'll charge the Dutch for the insult. It's just German with a throat infection, isn't it? Slovenians are my favorite. That's my favorite country. All right, enough of the nationalities. What have you learned today? What's one thing you picked up today about embodiment? Just check you've learned something and not wasted an hour of my life. What have you learned? Not to get too serious yet. Some people take embodiment very seriously. I don't think that helps. No. Yeah, if it's free, I'm having a good time. That's the deal, okay? If you charge money, I'm probably still having a good time. It doesn't have to be complex. No, it doesn't. Embodied practices can be something as walking, simple as like going for a walk in nature every day. Okay, you don't have to do some esoteric yoga. Answer questions with the body. Great. That is the essence of embodied coaching. Well done. Good. Have some fun, that it works. Yeah, it's just very practical. But like see through all the silliness and jokes. It's just a practical set of tools. If you're a facilitator, it's well worth picking up. Good. So that link for Keck, if you want to get the early bird rate, it's super early bird because it doesn't we'll probably keep that for about a week, and then after Christmas the price will go up, definitely. And then it starts in February, so you've got a bit of time. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Helen, small pathetic dog that should be a cat. Thank you to everyone. Who was your favorite today? Who was your favorite? It was Helen. Probably Helen. Helen, Jodie, Marianne. I think it was Helen. She's my favorite. Give yourself a little pat on the head for coming. Like, well done. Just patronize yourself. Like, well done. Well done. You did so well. Oh my God, it's not your fault. I'm going to be an American life coach, okay? It's not your fault. Things happened and it's not your fault, and you are worth it. Okay, it's like the L'Oreal coaching method. All right, we all good? All right. I'm not making any sense anymore. We're on time. So I hope I see some of you in a more professional context for some learning. If not, go away. We're done now. Go away. Let's unmute everyone, Helen. People can all say bugger off in their first language just to end it in a beautiful note.
Everyone has the opportunity to unmute and say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Bugger off.
Have
a lovely
Hello.
day.
Bye.
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 Good night.
Bye, everybody.